What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my wildly handsome co-hosts, Josh and John Luke. What's up, boys?
What up?
Let's go. It's Friday.
That was a new dance move, Josh. That one was pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. Gave us a good view of those pits. It got me going.
To the streets, I plan on this weekend going out, showing off my new moves. And Will, how do you think? Never mind. You haven't been introduced yet.
Guys, also joining us today, two more members of the Front Yard family. We've got the Wright brothers, Tim and Joey Wright. What's up, guys?
I'm feeling great. I'm ready for the best sound in sports.
Wow.
I can't even follow that.
Every time.
Tim, that was the perfect crack into the microphone.
Good one.
Guys, also joining us today is a very great friend of the show, special guest. We've got Will, a.k.a. Biased Opinions, with us today. For those of you that do not know Will, you can find him on Twitter at biasedopinions_. It is right there below his face on the screen, so make sure you guys go and follow him. He is a contributor over at the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, SGPN. We're hyped to have him on today. Will, thank you so much for joining us.
Man, thanks for having me on, man. I always have a great time here. And I always know that as long as Josh is here, that whatever game we're playing, I'm not going to come in last.
Are you kidding me, Will?
That's great.
You're going to bring that up now?
Very true.
You come at me like this live? All right. I wish we were playing a game. So
Well, the best part about brackets is
safety
that
net.
sometimes everyone loses because no one's favorite wins, and it's just everybody's mad by the end of it. And that's the best part about brackets. But we need your help. We can't figure out this shit on our own. So we brought you in to help us figure out the winner of these two brackets we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about some potential busts from the 2022 rookie class. So rookies coming in that might bust. And then we are also going to be talking about, in honor of National Hamburger Day, the best pizza toppings is our second bracket. So we will be doing the best pizza toppings on National Hamburger Day. We didn't time our last week's bracket very well in that regard, but that's okay. We got Mrs. Scampers in here beating her husband in more way than one, but beating her into the chat first from Mrs. Scampers. We've got Craig in the chat, said best pizza toppings. Well, finally, a non-controversial brackets. I'm sure there will be no biased opinions on this one.
That's good. World play. I like
Lazy, if
that.
I'm being honest.
Scott, what's up? Third, welcome in. Glad to have you here. And we got Mr. Scampers in here as well. What's up, Mr. Scampers? Sorry, Mrs. Scampers, but this is our favorite chat cat. Mr. Scampers currently holds the lead.
You're our second favorite.
You are our second favorite and our least favorite because there's only two of you. Dame, what's up? Welcome in. Unless there could be cats pretending to be humans in our chat and we don't even know.
We can't rule it out for sure. I've been suspicious of Craig for months.
Dame, what's up? Hello, welcome in. Glad to have you here.
What up, Dame?
And Pete said Bacon's about to win best pizza topping too. I did not put bacon on there on purpose. We couldn't.
And guess what? It didn't win last week's.
You're right. What did win?
Fried egg.
Fried egg was the
dumb ass fried egg one somehow.
Questionable.
Like even JL is like bacon should have beat fried egg. Like even JL.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm with you.
Scott said once had a pizza with toppings that tastes like a cheeseburger. It blew my mind. We will not be doing like
I was about to say that
topping combinations because there's so many good ones out there, right? There's like the baked potato
put some ground
pizza,
beef on there. And that's pretty close to a cheeseburger.
That is close to a cheeseburger. Albert, what's up? Good afternoon. Glad to have you in here. And Jay Wall said Jack Link's Jerky and Curology Skincare. I think that's just a Utah pizza topping, but I'm not positive. I think that's Salt Lake City specific.
That the Addy got, I guess, right?
So Scott's saying happy Friday and whatever. Yeah, the whatever is the important part. And Jay in here already letting his opinions be known that
Jay
Will is
good,
better
man.
than all of us in here.
Facts.
Alex
Will
ASMR.
best. Back to Jay's comment. I've seen him post that before for guests, but I think you got the most greater than signs I've ever seen him post. So I'm just saying.
I mean,
Sure,
listen,
I keep track.
I digress.
as I should.
As you should.
Alex, it's funny you've said this. I have brought up doing ASMR fantasy videos before, just like with little noises tucked in between. We might have to step on that. That would be funny right there. And Jason, JL usually loses brackets. Yeah, that is true. He usually does.
JL always loses brackets.
I don't think I've ever won brackets.
Mrs. Skipper says, how dare you all? I'm leaving and taking my video like with me. Well, guys, to make up for Mrs. Scampers doing that, a couple reminders before we get started. Before you fix her mistake, make sure you go over to Twitter and follow our guest, Will. Like I said, you can find him on Twitter at biasedopinions_. It's right there below his handsome face on the screen. So make sure you guys go over there and follow him. He is truly a phenomenal follow and a phenomenal person. After you do that, if you're watching this, that means you're most likely already on our YouTube channel. If you are, hit that like button on this video. Make up for Mrs. Scampers taking hers away. And make sure you subscribe to our channel at Front Yard Fantasy. And if you want to make sure you never miss another one of these, if you want to be first like Mrs. Scampers was in the chat today, just hit that bell button. It'll let you know every time we go live. That little notification bell will make sure you get in here. And what's up, John? Welcome in. Glad to have you here.
What up, John?
And Alex saying, God damn, that was a professional edit, Simon. Nailed it. I don't nail many of my segues, but when I do. And guys, we are going to be starting our first bracket right now with that segue. It was a joke. It was a terrible segue and a terrible joke. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our first bracket for today, guys.
I've never agreed so much with you, Simon.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and pull up our first bracket. And guys, the first bracket we are doing today is going to be our potential rookie bust. So these are the players that you think are most likely to bust this upcoming season. How this is going to work, for those of you that haven't been here for brackets before, watching along in the chat, we are going to go one by one voting on these matchups. So I'll pull up the first matchup. Will, you're going to cast your vote. Tim, in order, tell us a little bit about why you're voting that way, or just tell us your answer, whatever you want to do on that front. If you want to save some points for the next round, you are more than welcome to do that. It's a Tim move. Tim loves to save some points for the following rounds when he knows the outcomes. If we have a tie, the chat will determine the results. JL, can you run the polls in the chat today?
Yeah, I have a question though. Is this 2022 rookies that will bust, or is this rookies that will bust in 2022?
However you want.
Well, it changes how I word the poll. So
yes,
that's why
let's establish this.
It is a little bit different, I guess, when it comes down to it.
What you could do, JL, is just not put a question in there and just put the two names, and however people want to.
Or we could just decide. Either way.
However you want. Interpret it however you want. Both.
It's just like Thanksgiving when I was growing up.
I'm looking at the names here, guys. I'm looking at the names. There's not a lot of top tier names here. I just think I think about this bracket is like players throughout their career. It's not just 2022. It's players that are just going to be like
busts.
They were busts. Yeah. They weren't worth drafting, right?
All right, we'll go with the 2022 rookies that will bust anytime.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Guys, let's jump into our first matchup. We've got two brackets to get through. Also, Scott very graciously saying he'll come on and break ties if you want.
So
only
generous.
ties, though. That would be great. Scott just in there gets to decide. That would be the perfect role for him. He just sits there quietly at the bottom waiting for a 3-3 tie. And then he's like, this is who wins. Will, you are going to have everything. You are going to have our first vote on our first matchup. This is Sky Moore versus James Cook. Who do you think is a more likely bust for fantasy football?
Well, not only this year, but I think throughout their career, I think it's going to be James Cook. I don't trust any running back in Buffalo. I mean, Josh Allen, he picks up a lot of fantasy points, not only through the air, but also through the ground. So I like Sky Moore's situation out there in KC, especially with Tyreek Hill no longer being out there. So yeah, I'm going to go with James Cook.
With James Cook. Oh, and it looks like our official tiebreaker has showed up. What's up, Scott? Welcome in.
7 people on the stream at one time. It's rare.
So little. My box is so tiny.
Wow.
Please don't clip that. Please don't address me unless you need a tie broken.
Okay.
Mute him.
I love you guys.
You're the man, Scott.
Tim, where are you voting on this one? Sky Moore or James Cook?
I'm just going to go Sky Moore. I've said this a little bit. There are too many mouths to feed in KC. It's a pretty interesting landing spot, obviously with Tyreek gone, but there's so many people there. And honestly, if Justin Ross didn't have his, illness concern, he's the better prospect than Sky Moore. So maybe that's spicy. I don't really care, but I don't think Sky Moore's.
That is pretty spicy.
1-1. JL, what about you, Sky Moore or James Cook?
These guys are close enough. I'll go with the running back.
James Cook for JL and Joey.
Yeah, I think Will hit all my talking points. I really don't like that these two are matched up in the first round because I kind of like both of them next year, but James Cook would be my bet to bust more in his career.
Okay, 3-1. And Josh?
Yeah, I mean, if we just take this from a dynasty perspective, Sky Moore's getting drafted, higher, so people do assume that he's going to produce more. When it comes down to it, I actually think Sky Moore has a better chance to disappoint people, but I think it's more likely that James Cook just ends up being a average, to pretty good pass catching back and not a very good runner actually in the NFL. So if that comes to fruition, he's a bust, and it's gonna give it. I'm gonna give my nod to James Cook here.
We had some Scott in the chat saying, "Does Scott need a pillow and a blanket? Does the tiebreaker?" Let me correct that for you. Does the tiebreaker need a pillow and a blanket? Not anymore. Not anymore.
Cozy
how much
AF.
How much does the tiebreaker get paid? That looks cozy. Is that a comfy that you have on? One of the big.
What's
one
that?
of
Just a snuggie with a hoodie?
It's
It looks like he's waiting for one of them to drop a ring.
the comfy, but here's the thing. My comfy and my wife's comfy are upstairs. So this is my 9-year-old's comfy.
That's fantastic.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
I was wondering why it was so tight around your head.
So it doesn't really fit too well.
So it's not very comfy.
That is good one. I like it.
No, it wasn't good. Don't
Josh
encourage
voted
me.
for James Cook on that one. My vote was actually going to be towards Sky Moore. And Dale, what you said was interesting to me because, like you said, it's close enough that I'm going to go with the running back as the more likely bust. It's close enough that I'm going to go with the receiver as the more likely bust. I feel like it's easier for a running back to find some opportunity and return some fantasy value.
I meant it that way.
Receiver after receiver not find that value. And we've seen it in Kansas City a couple times. So I'm going to go Sky Moore just because I think there's a more likely chance he disappoints, like Josh said. So I will go Sky Moore, but James Cook is going to win. Tiebreaker, where would you have voted on this one? Or you
Probably
only
James
want to
Cook.
be addressed, James Cook?
Yeah, probably James Cook on that one.
James Cook moves on to the next round. Tim, we're going to
50-50
start
from the chat, by the way.
We're going to start with
50-50.
you
Wow.
on
50-50.
this one. And I did not purposely, I'm just now realizing I matched up the two Pierces in this bracket, but we've got Dameon Pierce, running back for the Houston Texans versus Alec Pierce, wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. Which of these is a more likely bust for you?
This one's interesting because who's ahead of Damian? I don't really even know at this point. So
Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead.
oh god. So I mean,
Watch out.
that's the point. So Alec Pierce, I guess. I mean, going against Jonathan Taylor, that's a loftier goal.
The wide
Lost amount of
receiver,
climb.
Alec going up against Michael Pittman. But
Whatever.
yeah, there's some other receivers there. One vote for Alec Pierce. JL, where are you going here? Pierce or Pierce?
That is a tough question. I'll go with Pierce.
Good answer. Great answer.
Yeah, I'll go with Alec.
One vote for Alec Pierce. Joey?
Alec as well. I like Pearson Houston actually a lot.
Josh?
That's biased though.
Yeah, I actually know you're a fan of Pierce. I'm a fan of both these guys when it comes down to it, but really when it comes down to it, Alec Pierce I think is a much better prospect. He has so much upside. Yes, both these guys have I think a pretty big chance of busting, but I much prefer Alec Pierce in that Colts offense. I think he could have a role right away. Dameon Pierce, if he doesn't produce right away, he is going to be a bust, and people are going to label him as such. I'm going to vote Dameon Pierce here pretty easily.
Dameon Pierce for Josh. And Josh, I tend to agree with you. Like, the talent disparity here is enough for me. I wasn't excited about Dameon Pierce. Yeah, maybe he's got a route to touches easier, but I like Alec Pierce a lot more as a prospect than I do Dameon Pierce. So I will vote Dameon Pierce here as well. Will, what about you? Are you going Alec Pierce or Dameon Pierce?
When you're looking at the wide receivers, you got to look at the quarterback. So I don't know how much left Matty Slushy has in the tank there. And after that Super Bowl, he's been like resting, right? So, Phillip Rivers was able to do some things behind that offensive line, but I just don't think that Matty Slushy has a lot left. So I'm going to go with Alec Pierce.
Alec Pierce is going to win this one. And I say win every time. Like, it's almost like these guys are losing when they get more votes, right? Like, we're saying win, but Alec Pierce has lost, and so he will advance to the next round. Tiebreaker. Oh, your comfy's gone. Where would you have voted on this one? Alec Pierce?
Yeah, I would have gone with Alec Pierce. I'm not as enthused about Dameon Pierce, and I think the main thing he's got going for him is a pathway at this point.
So
I think Alec Pierce has a better long-term potential. I would have
You
voted
would've-
for Alec Pierce to be the one to move on and have a better chance at a breakout.
Or no, so we're
Better
voting on
chance.
bust.
Oh, bust. Oh no, I would probably have Damian Pierce as the more likely bust.
Okay, so the tiebreaker would have decided this one the other direction. Scott, you always say that you want to correct our brackets, and it's kind of fun that you get to like correct us live on stream right now.
You
Let us
have
know
you
right-
have to realize I'm only half paying. I'm not even half. I'm like 30% paying attention to the show right now.
I'm just glad you're here, Scott. You know?
guys.
That's
We're
more than
gonna,
Tim and I usually do, so that works.
Yeah.
we're gonna move on to our next matchup in jail. You have the first vote in this one. It is a running back versus a running back. Our first same position matchup. We've got Isaiah Spiller versus Tyler Algier. Which one of these guys is a more likely bust?
Between these two guys, it's got to be Algier. I'm gonna go Algier here.
One vote for Algier from JL. Joey, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's Algier. I think Spiller has a really good opportunity for work this year. Los Angeles has been trying to find a running back to complement Eckler, and I think they might have found him. So yeah, it's Algier for me to be the biggest bust.
Another vote for Algier. Josh, what about you?
I mean, I completely agree with what was just said here. Algier, but I not completely. So Algier is going to have, I think, a role this year, and if he doesn't impress with that role, much like Damian Pierce, he's going to be out of the NFL pretty quickly, I believe. Isaiah Spiller, he's going to have a little bit more of a leash. He's not going to be expected to be the number one running back this year by any means. And if anything happened to Austin Eckler, he's going to have a pretty serious role in this awesome Chargers offense. So I don't know. I could see him next year being the starter for the Chargers. I know it's kind of crazy to say at this point, but I think Algier is a better, much bigger bust candidate.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's going to be Algier. When you look at the Atlanta Falcons depth chart, it's underwhelming. Like if you just look at these two depth charts, you might think, oh, well, Algier's got the opportunity. But I think Spiller's he's good enough to command work even with Eckler in front of him. Algier, whenever the Jeremy McNichols news came out yesterday, it genuinely made me concerned for Algier's opportunity in this offense for next year. And I think Jeremy McNichols having that impact on how I'm viewing Algier is like an indictment of what I think about Algier, right? Like if that affected my view of how much work he's going to get, then I got to vote Algier here. It's going to be Algier. Will, what about you?
Yeah, so a couple of things. I mean, I already have a couple of shares in Spiller, so selfishly, I'm hoping that he does well.
Yes.
Not only this year, but for the years
Biased
to come.
opinions.
Biased opinions.
Yeah.
And again, you could say that anybody could hand the ball off over there, but I don't know with the quarterback options that they have in Atlanta right now, if that's even going to go well. So we don't even know who the quarterback there is going to be, and we saw what Isaiah Spiller was able to do down there in SEC. So I'm going to go with Algier as being the bust.
Algier, it is 5-0. Tim, are you making this a sweep or are you throwing a vote Isaiah Spiller's way?
Yeah, you said it all. Sweep it.
And Scott, would you have agreed with us or would you have
I would
gone
have
the other
agreed.
way?
I would have agreed with you. I liked Spiller way better as a prospect, and you can't help but think about how Austin Eckler got virtually no inside the 5 carries in the previous 3 years before last year, and I think it was more necessity. I can absolutely see them giving a lot more of that to Spiller this year.
And how many goal line touchdowns did Eckler have? I mean, like I think his most touchdowns ever before last year was like 4 or something like that.
I think he only had 1 touchdown inside the 5 in his career before last year, right? It was something ridiculously low.
Yeah, exactly. And
Inside the
talking
5,
about
I'm
his
saying.
overall rushing touchdowns, I'm pretty sure it was extremely low compared to what it was last year. So you got to kind of expect a little bit of regression, right?
This show loves Jeremy McNichols. Like it's ridiculous. last year,
one
when he-
strong take.
it is insane how much.
I don't love Jeremy
But
McNichols.
I will say you have a very good point, Simon, that if that signing makes you think about it, that's not a good sign.
Exactly. That's the point I was making there, Scott. Not some Jeremy McNichols love. Just like, oh man, if that made me question it, then I really got to question my convictions there on Tyler.
So Austin Eckler had 12 rushing touchdowns this season. The most he had previously was 3.
Right. Yeah, and I think
scary.
only 1 was inside the 5 in his career. If
I believe that.
I'm correct.
I mean, 1, 6, 7, 8, 9 rushing touchdowns combined in his career before last season.
Also, Scott Rainier, do not spread this blasphemy. We are not anti-Austin Eckler. He creates his value elsewhere. We are pointing out an area where there's opportunity for Spiller, not saying that Eckler is not worth drafting at cost. He is a top 5 running back next season for us. I think most of us.
Don't speak for all of us. He is for me.
Don't speak for all of us. Yeah, I know for me and Josh. I guess I don't know for everyone else here, but I know for Josh and I he is. But Joey, you're gonna have the first vote on this one, and this is some maybe some higher draft capital names than we've been looking at. We've got Christian Watson versus Jameson Williams here, but I included these because I think there's some serious question marks around both of them, but there's some serious upside for both as well. So Joey, which of these two do you think is the more likely bust, Christian Watson or Jameson Williams?
So if JL would have not clarified which way we're going with this, I would say that Williams has a much bigger chance of busting for this year coming up. But over a career, I mean, look at the pedigree of Williams. I'm going to say Christian Watson has a better chance of busting through his career. But if it's just for 2022, I would vote Williams, but I'm voting Watson.
Joshua, what about you?
This is the toughest one for me. But when it comes down to it, Christian Watson's gonna have more opportunity this year, but at the same time, if he doesn't capitalize on that opportunity after this year, if he doesn't have a pretty good season, at least he has to have a pretty good season, he's gonna be labeled a bust. Whether that ends up it comes to fruition throughout his career, I don't know. But I think it's more unlikely because I do believe Jameson Williams is a lot more talented overall. So, Christian Watson would be the more likely bust.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with you guys. Go ahead and make it an early 3-0. Christian Watson, his biggest plus are just his athleticism, right? He's big and fast, and that doesn't always translate to NFL success. Jameson Williams isn't just relying on his athleticism. Now, that being said, there's a path for Christian Watson. We've seen these just wildly athletic people find success in the draft, but I'm going to vote for Christian Watson as well here because I'm not as comfortable with like his route running as I am, say, Jameson Williams. Will, what about you? Christian Watson or Jameson Williams?
Man, a couple of things. You got to go back to the quarterback again, right? We know that Aaron Rodgers doesn't really trust the rookies out there, and if you start dropping some passes, he's gonna go off you. So, I think that, like you said, to Josh's point, it's pretty much like he has to be like an Adam Thielen out there, pretty much catch anything and everything that's thrown his way in order for him to be successful. And even when Aaron Rodgers leaves, is Jordan Love good? I don't think he is. So I think it's going to be dependent on quarterback play, and I think Jameson Williams, even by looking at the pictures and everything, when he was in Detroit, he wasn't happy to be there. But I think they get a good quarterback there. He'll be able to thrive. So I think they'll be able to turn around once they get a capable quarterback in the room. So I'm going to go with Christian Watson on this one.
Man, Jordan Love must have thought he was safe in this show, right? He didn't think there was going to be a shade thrown his way, and then all of a sudden he's just caught in the crossfire. Tim, where are you going on this one? Watson or Jameson Williams?
Yeah, no, Will, I'm glad you brought that up. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. So, yeah.
And Tim, I feel like you're a pretty big Jameson Williams fan. Like since
I like him.
Draft, you were on him.
I love him. He's fast. I like it when they're fast as hell. Just
JL, are you going with Watson or Williams?
I'll go with Watson as well.
Is a sweep, and Scott, would you have agreed with our sweep that Watson's the more likely bust?
Yeah. Will pretty much nailed it. I gave some of those same talking points on a show earlier this week about Watson and Aaron Rodgers not exactly trusting rookies, and I could see Cobb ruining Amari Rodgers breakout too. But Jameson Williams, I think, has the highest ceiling in this class of wide receivers. Anyway, he's just smooth and so slippery, and I think people underestimate his floor. Like, a lot of people think of super high upside guys that they have this super low floor. I think he's just a really, really good wide receiver. I think his floor is not as bad as some people think. I think it's right up there.
People think of Ruggs, right?
Yeah. I think he's up there. I like him a lot. I like him more than Watson.
I completely agree. Highest upside for sure.
Christian Watson
6 games or 8 games.
is going to move on to the next round in our busts bracket, which means we are going to move on to our next matchup. And Josh, you've got the first vote on this one. James Cook versus Alec Pierce, our semifinals matchup. Who's the more likely bust?
Both mid to late second round picks that I think do have a lot of bust potential. These are two of the highest, boom bust guys, I believe, in this rookie class when it comes down to it. There's a more likely chance to bust. I'm actually going to vote for Alec Pierce here, believe it or not. I think James Cook is going to have a role. I kind of went into this earlier, where if he has a solid pass catching role, let's just say he's James White-esque, he's not going to be a bust, right? Alec Pierce, maybe it just doesn't pan out for him. And the Colts, Matt Ryan's, he's getting older here. So if they can't figure out that quarterback situation, he could go away, right? So I'm going to go with Alec Pierce here.
It's Scott saying they just made me tie break a sweep, contacting my attorneys. Yeah, have them contact our attorneys. We'll have the live litigation on the show. We'll do that live right after the brackets are done. And Josh, this one's really tough for me. And I've been like, if you've listened, I've been on the anti-drafting James Cook high train. Like, I am not about using a first-round draft pick in rookie drafts on James Cook or drafting him early, because I think Devin Singletary has shown enough that they're not going to be pressed to push James Cook into that role. But I think there's more of a chance that James Cook finds a role in that offense than Alec Pierce. Or maybe the better way to put it is there's a higher chance that Alec Pierce is an unnecessary piece of that Colts offense, that they can find success without him. So I am going to vote Alec Pierce here. That is not an endorsement of James Cook as like a redraft target or anything, but I think he can find some work in this offense. So I'm going to vote for Alec Pierce here. Will, what about you? James Cook or Alec Pierce? Who's the more likely bust?
Man, and so in this situation, I'm going to have to go with James Cook. I mean, there's just too many people in the backfield. And like I said, I mean, once, you still got the ability of Josh Allen to come out the backfield and run it in, especially when they're in within the red zone. So, I'm going to go with James Cook in this matchup.
1 vote for James Cook, 2 for Alec Pierce. Tim, where are you going here?
I'm going Pierce. One thing that I feel like I've been shouting from the rooftops, but mostly just from the comment section on random shows. James Cook has a higher yards per carry last season than what's his name, Breece Hall. So that's pretty exciting to think about. People say he's undersized. He's like 10 pounds lighter than Dalvin Cook and an inch taller.
He averaged like 7 touches a game. You can have a high yards per carry when you're touching the ball that little.
And a much better offensive line.
I'm just having fun. I like James Cook.
Much better offensive line as well. But
but against
that's still a great point.
So,
Still a great point. Still a great point.
Just something to consider. So
no.
I think he's going to do. I think he's going to do better than people think. They're plotting him in. Give it to
Tim.
Pierce.
It's not like we've said this before. I've seen him go as high as 102 in rookie drafts on Twitter multiple times. I've seen multiple people tweet out pictures of James Cook as the second guy off the board. So you are not alone in being high on James Cook right there. JL, where are you voting here? James Cook or Alec Pierce?
I'm going to go with Alec Pierce. I realized last time I voted for James Cook, I believe, because I said the running back, and I had mistaken the bracket. I was thinking the other way around.
You were thinking the less likely bust.
I think I did too, yeah.
All good right there. I don't think it affected the outcome.
Oh, that would have been a tie for the tiebreaker.
Oh, actually, I think it would have affected the outcome. But that's okay. It's part of the science of brackets.
Oh well.
We're past it now. We can't go back.
Moved on.
One mistake. We can't correct mistakes. Joey, what about you? This is decided, but where's your vote going?
It's irrelevant. I would vote for Pierce as well.
And Josh?
I already voted. We're all done.
Yeah, we did.
Actually,
I would also. I'll vote again. Scott, do you agree with us on this one that Pierce is the more likely bust, or would you have voted
This is
Cook?
not a tiebreak scenario here, man. By the way, I just got an ad for the Comfy after Simon mentioned it and I wore one on the show. What is going on here?
they're listening. They're always listening.
Man.
Real fast. I think Scott makes a great point that Cook's labeling as a bust or not depends on what your expectations are for him.
If you take him at 102.
That's a really great point.
RB1 for the next 10 years.
Scott,
probably
a bust. Going to be an NFL workhorse. You might be disappointed, and I think that's a good point. And I am kind of taking my expectations in here a little bit.
Tell me, Scott, who would you have gone with, Sky Moore or James Cook as the bigger bust in 2022? Because it would have came down to you if I had not goofed.
In 2022?
Yeah, who would you have voted for in that first one?
That was what we decided at the beginning. Who's the bigger NFL?
If you want to take it 2022 a little bit, I think that's fine too.
Yeah,
Which way would you have voted on that first one?
It's a tough one.
I think probably Sky Moore, but man, I like
as the bigger bust.
They're very
Sky Moore would have advanced because the chat was 50-50. So
that's tough. That's
okay, guys. It's part of brackets. This is science.
Like,
whatever happens, happens.
I got to see how that KC offense operates because they never even fed their wide receiver 2 there, really. So like,
They didn't have to.
They didn't need to. That's
That's
exactly
true.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be a better spread now. It won't be so concentrated on top.
Right.
Yeah, I can see it either way.
Juju's going to be too busy on TikTok. So
You said no more
like
TikToks
it.
this year.
I hope
I
he's
just saw
watching
one
our
this
video.
morning. I saw one this morning. So
What's he
guess he
beats
was
Pat
talking about the
Mahomes' brother?
season.
There'll be a ton of
God.
TikToks.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no.
As long as he's following Front Yard Fantasy on TikTok, it's fine. He could do whatever.
yeah,
he
yeah,
wants.
I'm all.
Is
about
he
it.
really?
I don't know. Probably not.
Nice-
I don't
nice
I
know.
got a new
transition.
I
There's a
got
lot
a
of
new
people
follower
following.
on TikTok yesterday. That was pretty
Yeah, I
cool.
saw that. Your community's growing.
Let's go.
Guys, we're going to move on to our next semifinal matchup. We've got Tyler Algier against Christian Watson, and I have the first vote on this one. And this one is tough because when you look at upside, Christian Watson is like, it's like situation wise, you want the rookie wide receiver plugged into this Green Bay Packers offense after Aaron Rodgers left, right? But I just feel like the bust potential for Christian Watson is he could just be irrelevant. Aaron Rodgers could not like him. He could just be this highly athletic guy that never transfers to the NFL. Tyler Algier, though, is not on the level of prospect as Christian Watson in my mind, though, but he's got a much easier path to relevancy, at least immediately. So, JL, the difference you made at the beginning, and I was thinking, like, what's the point of doing that? Why are we even talking about that? For 2022, I think Christian Watson has the higher chance of busting. But if we're talking NFL career, Algier could very easily find a space for himself this year in this Atlanta Falcons offense. But I don't have faith in his talent long term to carve out like a successful NFL role to be fantasy relevant for years. So I'm going to vote Tyler Algier here. But this one's tricky. This one's absolutely tricky. And JL,
Yeah,
I think the
expectations
differentiation
went
you
up
made
right
at the
there.
beginning
Yeah.
is what decided this one for me. Like NFL career, I think Tyler Algier is more likely to be a bust. Will, what about you? Are you going with Tyler Algier? Or are you going with Christian Watson?
yeah, this is tough because it's tough because like I said, I just could see Aaron Rodgers giving him a couple opportunities, and if he misses out on them, then he's going to pretty much be off of him for as long as he's there, and then we don't know what we're going to get from Jordan Love. So I'm going to go with Watson being the biggest bust out of these two.
One vote for Christian Watson. Scott in here was saying, while we were talking about Sky Moore, I think MVS is going to be overdrafted this year. Yeah, I think a lot of these Kansas City receivers will, and maybe only one of them will pan out, maybe one being worth their draft cost. But just the excitement of figuring out who that top receiving option outside of Travis Kelce is going to be is going to entice a lot of people. Like that's a very enticing prospect. And then what's up, Cal? We got Cal in
What
here.
up,
So
Cal?
what's
Hey,
up, my
Cal.
long lost friends?
Long
missed you,
lost
Cal.
indeed. We missed you.
Hope you're doing well. Glad to have you in here. Tim, you've got the next vote, correct?
Yep. So I'm going to go with Watson because you mentioned if Algier carves out any role this season on the Falcons, they have so many other problems to fill. Do you think they'll just ride with Algier for a few years? Like he could be an average, like late RB2 at best, maybe for a career. And that's fine, depending on draft capital for a few years. Like that's fine. I'm good with that. But if Christian Watson fades into oblivion, there's nothing you could do about that. So give me a more stable floor than an absolute risk overall.
There we go. Tim voting for Christian Watson. JL, it is 2-1 right now. Michael Hoffman in here saying, I've heard of Christian Watson, so I'm going Tyler. On this one. You know what?
Solid reasoning.
That is not
That's
a
a
bad
good point.
It's actually fairly good
Very
reasoning
fair.
on that one, Michael.
Yeah.
That is a very fair way to vote for this one. JL, where are you voting here?
Yeah, I mean, Simon, your point earlier about how career-wise, Tyler Algier, it just there's like for some reason when I think about it career-wise, that discrepancy gets so much bigger because I'm like this running back who doesn't have a ton of high draft capital, who's on this Atlanta offense which hasn't really produced a bunch of good running backs. I would much rather have the wide receiver with high upside, with an opportunity with one of the best quarterbacks that's ever played the game.
So a vote for Tyler Algier. That's
Yeah.
the way you're going here?
Yeah.
It is 2-2 now. Joey, where are you going here?
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta went out and got Mike Davis last year, and he pretty much busted, and they put a wide receiver in to run the ball for him, who did great. I mean, Cordell Patterson was incredible. But, I think Atlanta's looking for running back. I don't think they found their running back. I think Christian Watson, I think JL said it. Even though Rodgers doesn't focus on rookie wide receivers, it's a career thing, and I think Watson could have a much better career than Algier.
There we go. So another vote for Algier. It is 3-2. Josh, what are you doing here? Are you sending it to Scott or are you giving it to Algier?
I really want to send it to Scott. I really want to, but when it comes down to it, I think the expectations should play a little bit of a factor here. We expect a lot more from Christian Watson than Tyler Algier, but at the same time, who's going to bust more? Tyler Algier. I mean, he ran an incredibly slow 40. He was drafted in the 5th round. They still have Cordell Patterson there who's going to be involved at running. I'm not saying he's going to take over and be a workhorse running back, but I don't think Tyler Algier is going to do that either. So if he doesn't do that this year, then what is he? He's nothing. I think he's going to bust. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of
Tyler
here.
Algier, moving on to our championship matchup.
Ooh-wee.
And Michael here said, I'm going to die on the Christian Watson hill. It's right next to the Kelvin Benjamin hill.
Does that hill have a lot of hamburgers on it?
Also, Michael in here saying, I'm busy doing golf research and losing money. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds pretty good.
Kelvin Benjamin's at the base of that hill. He didn't want to climb it.
Too steep.
It's a very little hill, the Kelvin Benjamin hill. Brad the Bandit in here saying SFB 12 or bust. Just in here.
I may have tweeted that I'll give out a spot on the second half of the show. So you have a few people watching.
That checks out.
A few more.
Wait! I forgot I was wearing this Scott Fishbowl. Well, that's 11, but
There it is.
It's all good. Yeah.
And Jim said, I have too many Watsons. I hope you're wrong. Well, we voted for Tyler Algier over Watson. And Jim, just for those of you who are joining us right now, we are talking about the most likely bust. That doesn't necessarily mean that we think they're going to bust, right? These are just talking about the potential for these players to bust. So some of these players on here, like I know Josh is a huge Christian Watson fan, but he voted for him in the 1st round, I believe. But that doesn't mean you don't believe in him.
I'm a huge Jameson Williams fan too.
Also a huge Jameson Williams fan.
I think those two guys right there are they have some of the most upside in the entire draft for fantasy football when it comes down to it. So is there some downside? There's a lot more downside when it comes to a plus potential for Christian Watson.
Yeah, what's their best side, Josh?
I love bust side. I like focusing on their best side, their sexy side, but that's just me. I'm an optimist.
Guys, we are going to start our next round. And for everyone joining again, this is our most likely bust. So really winning this is a bad thing for the player. If you get more votes, you are the one that we think is going to bust more likely. Well, this is our championship.
I love that you set this up in a way that you really have to explain it multiple times.
Yeah. By the way, the chat voted on that last poll. 47 votes, 61% Tyler Algier, 38% Christian Watson.
Ooh,
hey, pretty in line with what we did right there. Pretty in line right there. Will, what do you think on this one? Who's the more likely bust, Alec Pierce or Tyler Algier?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tyler Algier. I don't think that they the Falcons might try to go ahead and try to get a top 5 pick next year in the draft. So yeah, I don't think they found their running back in this year's draft. And Alec Pierce, he does have a window of hope out there in Buffalo, just depending also, with a new offensive coordinator being in there and a new scheme. We'll see what goes on if Josh Allen takes less rushing attempts from his running backs.
Here we go. 1 vote for Tyler Algier. Tim, what about you? Where are you going on this one?
I'm just going to give it to Pierce because I kind of want to see if we get a tie. I doubt it.
JL, what about you?
I'm gonna go Algier. Same points I made in the last round. I think it's just I think it's more likely that he's gonna be busted than Alec Pierce, and that's the name of the game. So I'm gonna go Tyler Algier. I'm here to play.
Yeah, I want to follow my brother's lead, but I mean it's Algier for me. I can't. I'm sorry, Tim. I wanted to, but
how are we even related?
Sometimes, that's what Mom says all the time. And, Mom, please don't say that, but she keeps saying it, and I understand, but whatever.
Josh, Alec Pierce or Tyler Algier, who's the more likely bust?
So I mean, like Alec Pierce, I've kind of said it before, but I do believe he is almost Christian Watson light. I think Christian Watson has a lot more upside, both because of the offense he's in and just the player he is. I think Alec Pierce, they're both very big, very fast, go up and get it. Wide receivers. So this actually does make it a lot tougher for me. Just because of expectations, both second round pick. The right answer is voting for Tyler Algier. Algier's being a bust. When it comes
but what's the fun answer?
It's Alec Pierce. I tried to make an argument in my mind. I tried so hard, and then when it comes down to it, I couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
It's Algier.
And guys, I'm also going to vote Algier for all the reasons I said previously. Algier is going to win this bracket as the most likely bust from the 2022 rookies.
Can I throw something out there on Algier that I don't think I heard on here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Which another point to be made is that Atlanta's defense sucks and their offense sucks, and they're going to play a lot of high-powered teams this year. They're going to be passing a lot. Does Algier even get 10, 11 carries a game, even if he's the full-time starter?
Yeah,
like
good point.
That's pretty low.
That's he's gonna be splitting with Patterson and other Paulison doesn't scare me though. But yeah, you're right. That is a little bit low. But man, I feel like they'll be behind a lot.
The chat
for sure.
68% Algier, 31% Alec Pierce, 41 votes.
Did the chat understand how to vote correctly?
Agree
really
with
good
us. This has been one of the brackets I feel like where we've been in line with the chat the most. I guess
I have so little correcting to do.
Wait till we get to pizza.
Oh yeah, this is about to be a mess, and I think we should go ahead and get in there.
Yeah,
Scott, I know you mentioned that you were planning on giving a spot away in the second half of this. Second half of the show. So just let me know when you want to do that, and we will give you the stage to go ahead and do that.
I have not figured it out yet. I tweeted that without thinking. I'll have to...
No plan.
All right, let me write something down.
So for everyone who's here for the Scott Fishbowl spot, just know there is no plan, but it will be given away before the end of the
30% attention on the show, 10% attention on.
This is gonna be fantastic.
How do I apply? Real quick. How do I apply?
ScottFishbowl.com.
Okay.
I think you got to write in the chat somehow.
It'd be great if he gives it to
Yeah.
somebody on the show. The chat.
It'll be some. Yeah, I see. There's like 60 plus people in the chat. It's gonna be something somebody says in the chat. Probably. We gotta take it from the chat.
Ooh, so make sure your comments are quality.
And we already got some strong opinions in the chat. Pepperoni, why is this even a debate? Well, we're gonna start with you on our best pizza toppings bracket. The 1 seed versus the 8 seed. Pepperoni versus black olives. Which is the better pizza topping here?
Why is pepperoni in this bracket? That feels unfair. That's like
having bacon with burgers last week.
Yeah,
no, it's like having
Simon
Steph
keeps
Curry.
loading these up.
I just want to say
It's like Steph Curry being in a 3-point competition with my friend, with my son and his friends.
Don't underestimate who's voting here. Will,
that's true,
is a self-professed cheese guy. JL is a vegetarian, and I only eat chicken and fish when it comes to meat. So we might have some.
You're playing the crowd.
I like breaking things.
Well, where's your vote going? Is it going to pepperoni or black olives?
Yeah, so listen, again, when I was younger, I was definitely all about cheese, and if I wanted to get a little creative, extra cheese. But now, I mean, if you give me a choice, I'm gonna have to go with black olives.
Black olives from Will. Tim, what about you? Where's your vote going?
Holy cow! I want to see where black olives goes. Sorry, pepperoni.
Oh,
2 votes for black olives off the bat. And JL,
a
resident vegetarian. Are you voting for pepperoni or black olives?
Do I want it?
Load it up from the start, JL.
You don't like olives, JL.
JL, stay true to yourself. JL, stay true to yourself.
If you do black olives, it pushes it to a tie at best.
Well, the chat then takes it over, and according to the chat currently,
Scott's our
tiebreaker. Oh yeah, Scott is our tiebreaker. Here's the thing: I can't listen to myself because I hate olives and I don't eat pepperoni, so I hate both of these things. I guess I'm gonna go with olives because I want chaos. Let's go.
3 votes for olives. Joey, pepperoni or olives?
I'm gonna try to bring some understanding and peace to this show. Olives are a trash food for a trash people. We've established this on previous brackets. It's pepperoni. It is the most iconic topping that goes on a pizza. If black olives wins this,
Joey, what's a Greek salad without black olives?
This isn't the salad bracket.
Yeah, better salad.
It is 3-1 now. We'll see if pepperoni can make the comeback. Josh, are you going black olives or pepperoni?
If I come to you, I'm like, hey, I'm ordering pizza, I'm ordering pepperoni, and you're like, no, let's do black olives. Screw you.
You're not friends anymore.
No, pepperoni. Oh my.
We'll just go half black olives and half pepperoni. That's what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah, that's fine, but that's still dumb.
Coach Craig Sports saying Joey's saving the show.
Trying.
It's 3-2, and guys, this is a really tough one for me because I hate both of these. I hate black olives and I hate pepperoni. I don't eat pepperoni. Here's what I'm thinking though. One of my favorite things in the world, food-wise, is salt. Pepperoni
no.
pepperoni is salty. Black olives are not salty. If I have to have
are
one of
kinda
them on my
salty.
pizza and I'm not allowed to pick it off, I'm gonna get that salty flavor, even if I hate the pepperonis. This hurts, man. I want to just put the nail in the coffin for pepperoni. Just get him out of this
Don't do
bracket
it.
early, but I gotta vote for pepperoni. I
Okay.
will
Okay.
prefer pepperoni over black olives on my
Save
pizza,
us, Scott.
even though I hate both of them.
Now
Olives are
Scott-
salty too.
No, actually,
Ruined
time out. There's a lot of sodium. I just googled it. There's a lot of sodium in black olives. It contains
There
32
are.
milligrams.
There
of
are a
sodium.
lot of
So,
sodium.
yeah,
32
they're
milligrams.
pretty good.
You know what?
Taste
You
of an
already
olive
voted
takes
Will.
the salty away.
It is 3-3.
Ugh.
And Fantasy Fabio said, I don't think I can listen to this piece of blasphemy. Even a Scott Fishbowl spot isn't worth it.
Give him the spot, Scott.
I tried. I just can't.
Oh, Scott, are you voting for pepperoni or black olives? You've got the
Man,
tiebreaker. This is the first tiebreak you've had to settle on this show. Where's it going?
Like this isn't even close for me. But do I want to just have some chaos? No, Tim is all in on the chaos.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
90%.
All right.
Is currently voting
What's
for
the
pepperoni.
chat say?
90% is currently voting pepperoni.
JL,
60
who did you vote
votes.
for?
I,
JL, who did you vote for?
I
You went black
refuse to
olives.
answer. I went
You
olives.
went black olives.
Oh my gosh. Do I want what? Just go with the chat. Like I don't want to be the decider on this one. I can't. Do the
You're only wrong.
It's a no.
The one
I can't-
reason you're
pepperoni.
here.
It's
He's
pepperoni.
voting with his heart, though. That's his heart.
Pepperoni.
I can't-
Close.
I
The
can't
16
vote for
seed
black olives.
almost took out the number one seed in
Wow.
this bracket in the first round. You know what? Maybe that's not such a good sign for pepperoni in the later rounds. We will see.
Will mentioned salad before. You want to hear a crazy fun fact about me, and it's not fun at all. I've never
Yeah.
eaten a salad in my life.
What?
What?
Not once.
Not even
I've never
accidentally?
eaten a salad.
Scott, my
Nope.
freshman year of
That's
college,
news
I made
headline
my
worthy.
my New Year's resolution to eat a salad because I also had never done one. And Tim, I believe you were at the dining
I
hall
was
when I
there. It was-
completed my New Year's resolution. It was the first time I ever did
It
that.
was just like a couple
I would-
pieces of lettuce and some like shredded carrots, and they're like, "That's a salad."
I would be like Kevin Malone in The Office, eating the broccoli stalk
Yeah.
backwards. I don't know. It's a new food for me. Yep, I've literally never eaten a salad in my life. I just never have.
That
It's
is
weird.
Insane.
I know.
wildly
I
fun
get it.
fact.
Insanity.
Guys, we're going to move on to our next matchup. Tim, you've got the first vote. This is extra cheese versus pineapple. And this is a tough one. Where are you going here? Extra cheese or pineapple?
So this one is about as logical as I can be. I don't consider extra cheese a topping. As such, pineapple takes the cake.
One vote for pineapple. JL, what about you?
I feel like I'm neutral on the pineapple on pizza debate, which is rare for people I've talked to. So I'm just gonna go with cheese still though. Like I would never pick pineapple on my pizza.
And Coach Craig Sports says pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Gordon Ramsay even says it's so weird. Gordon Ramsay isn't here, and his opinion doesn't matter on this bracket. That's fucking bizarre. Just weird on that one.
So bizarre.
Joey, are you going with extra cheese or pineapple?
Well, Jo would never put pineapple on a pizza. I always put pineapple on my
I didn't say
pizza.
I'd never
I
do it.
am. I thought you said you would never do it. All right. It's,
Order it. I'd eat it if it's there.
oh, yeah. I always get pineapple on my pizza. It is my favorite topping to have on pizza. I'm voting pineapple here. I do love extra cheese. This is no slight to extra cheese, but pineapple is my favorite topping to have on pizza.
Also, Philip said, don't ever order extra cheese. I worked in pizza for far too long. I can guarantee you'll never get more than the standard. Josh, are you voting for pineapple
Told you
or
it's not a
extra
topping.
cheese?
I knew it.
So I was fully prepared to vote for extra cheese here until I just heard that, and I'm like, has it been a myth this whole time? Have I not
Do
actually?
you
been
not make
getting that
pizzas
extra
at your own
cheese?
house? Do you not make pizzas at your own house?
No, I
though?
don't. I don't. I
Oh,
don't. I
okay.
don't. I always order it. I like pineapple on my pizza, but I'm gonna vote for extra cheese. Extra cheese is the right answer. It's the right answer again. Put some extra cheese on there. It's delicious.
You're wrong. Pineapple is one of the best pizza toppings. My go-to pizza is jalapeno and pineapple. Get that spicy sweet on there, and it is so
Ooh.
good.
You're
Okay.
spicy and sweet.
I'm gonna vote for pineapple here. Will, are you gonna give this to pineapple, or are you sending it to Scott on the extra cheese versus pineapple debate?
All right, listen, guys. Being born and raised in New York City, I started hearing about pineapple on pizza probably like 6 years ago. It doesn't belong on pizza. So like I told you, when I want to get a little extra, I get extra cheese.
It's true.
If I wanted pineapple, then I'll just get a cup of fruit. So I'm gonna go with extra cheese.
Just some horrible things.
It is a tie, Scott.
Let's go.
I don't know where you stand on the
for
pineapple.
Let's
days.
tie on
debate.
every one of these.
Let's go.
Okay,
Going here,
so
Scott.
pineapple is arguably my favorite fruit. I love pineapple. I could eat
No,
pineapple
I don't
every
like
day. I
rice.
could drink
I see where
pineapple
this is
juice
going.
every
Me
day,
too. But
Let's go.
but
Let's go.
not
No.
on pizza.
There we go.
Let's
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm talking
This
about.
belongs on
Extra
pizza.
cheese, man.
Oh man.
Listen,
God, this
go.
is a travesty having pineapple
Yes.
eliminated in the first round by
it
extra
outta
cheese.
here.
But extra
Oh.
cheese is going to take
Yeah.
the W
man.
and win this first round to face off against pepperoni in the next round. And you know
The
what?
chat did not agree. Did not agree. I think it's 58% chose.
And
I have a pineapple
61%.
upstairs, and I have pineapple juice in my fridge. And no, not for my pizza though.
Michael said those who like extra cheese are the Karens of the pizza game. Absolutely, Michael. But look where we are. Extra
Oh.
cheese moves on. JL, you've got the first vote. in
Put
this
Scott
one.
Kobe's message on there, Simon.
Yeah,
Put it
someone
up
say
there.
something
I got
mean
it.
about pineapple lovers real fast because I'm sure there's something in there.
Where is Scott's message? I don't see it, Scott. If you see
No.
it, you can...
Scott Kobe said, or Kobe, I don't know. He says, and now it went away. Does your wife has an emergency stash of extra cheese in the refrigerator? Will and
It's
Tim
under
and
the
Joey, I don't know if
emergency
you saw this, but twice now I have
so good.
found and been told about emergency stashes of things my wife has.
Yeah.
I found out just this year that my wife has always kept an emergency stash of bacon
Scott,
under the vegetables.
Scott, you found
Yeah.
out on our show. You
Yeah.
were making
I
that
did
bacon
find out on our
to
show.
come onto our show to taunt me.
That's
She
because
knew
you
I
don't eat
wouldn't know
salad.
it.
Yeah, because you don't eat salad, so you have no business in that drawer.
There's no business in that
True.
drawer.
Yeah, no
But
business. in
man,
that
no,
drawer.
she doesn't have an emergency stash of extra cheese because we just have a ton of different kinds of cheeses in our fridge.
What was the second extra stash? You said you too.
I forgot. I talked about it on the show, but I can't
You
remember
did,
what the
yeah.
extra,
I knew about
yeah,
the
what it was.
bacon.
She can
Yeah.
say it's emergencies only.
It's so that we never run out of bacon. So that if we're out of bacon,
Extremely
we never run out. Yeah.
Bale, you've got the first
Well,
vote on our next matchup. It is mushrooms versus sausage. Where are you voting on this one? I feel like I keep matching you up with like you don't eat meat and then vegetables that you hate.
That I
So-
hate. Yeah, I'm gonna go mushrooms here. I hate mushrooms, but I'm not gonna eat. I will pick mushrooms off a pizza and eat it. I would not do that with sausage.
There we go. Also, James said, did I miss the Scott Fishbowl 12 spot? No, we haven't even. I don't think Scott's
Still
decided
figuring
I
it
was giving it away yet. But it
Oh,
is
yeah,
going to be
there's
given
70
away.
people watching. I got to figure something out here. Something with a random comment.
I'm sure
Joey-
it's going to be a good selection. So hang around, guys. Yeah.
Joey, are you going with mushrooms or sausage as your preferred pizza topping?
I think I've said on the show I'm allergic to mushrooms. I vomit if I eat them. So I have to vote for sausage. So yeah,
Sounds
I
like
don't
a
like
you
vomiting
problem.
a pizza.
Joey
it is a
loves
me problem, but I'm the one
sausage.
eating the
Maybe I'm-
pizza to get the toppings. So yeah,
That's
I'm
fair.
picking. Yeah,
That's fair.
Thank you.
Josh,
Maybe I'm a-
mushrooms or sausage?
So my favorite pizza is sausage and banana peppers. Actually, mushrooms are okay, but I just told you one of my favorite pizzas is sausage and banana. But sausage for sure here. For sure.
And you know what? I've recently come around on mushrooms as a whole. I thought I disliked them, but mushrooms are cool as shit. Like just the idea of a mushroom is so cool. Like this fungus that has a network that talks to each other, and like it's just a really cool thing that mushrooms are. So I've started trying to eat
Tastes like
them to
buttholes.
honor how cool they are. And so I'm gonna vote mushrooms here. Will, are you going mushrooms or sausage?
Before Will goes, and sorry to interrupt, chat, describe your absolute favorite pizza, like the
Ooh.
toppings, whatever, to me in the chat, each one of you. And whichever one I think sounds the tastiest, I'll give a free spot
The
to.
most
I
moving,
love that. I
most
love
moving
that.
pizza pitch. We need pizza pitches. In the
Describe
chat.
your favorite pizza, and I'll see what I like.
Describe your favorite pizza, and Scott is going to do it with a 100% biased opinion. Decide which
Yeah.
one sounds the best
Really
and
biased.
determine who gets the Scott Fishbowl spot.
Absolutely.
Who voted last on that one? I think I did, right? So
Will
it's your
Will's going
vote.
next.
Yeah,
I interrupted before you talked to Will.
No, it's all good. So I don't know exactly everything that's in a sausage. Which kind of makes me feel a little awkward.
Corey.
So I'm gonna stick with mushrooms, and also I used to love playing Mario Brothers when I was little.
So toast.
All really good reasons.
Solid reason.
Tim, are you going with mushrooms or sausage?
I was gonna go with whichever one didn't get the vote. So sausage, you get my vote.
Sausage. It is 3-3.
Another
So
tiebreaker.
another tie.
What's it gonna be, Scott?
Oh, that's easy. I don't like mushrooms at all. I don't even know. Do they have a flavor? Like
No, they don't. But
let's go.
it makes for a better story. That's why it makes it better for a better story.
Butthole
Check in that.
flavor.
Listen, Scott. After this, check in that vegetable drawer and just get creative. Just get creative. Start throwing stuff on there, like some pink Himalayan salt. Just start getting creative, man. Get on the Food Network channel
See
for
what
like
happens.
30 to 45, 60 minutes. You come up with some things.
I should say
see, I'd normally go. What did you vote for, Will?
Mushrooms.
Okay.
What's in the sausage? Can anybody tell me right now, like off the top of their head, what's in the sausage?
I don't care.
Is it a
Hot dogs are
pepperoni?
delicious.
I
I
don't
don't care.
Yeah.
I would normally go with sausage, but you know what? Will convince me. We'll go with Will's vote.
Let's go.
Mushrooms. Taking
Mushrooms.
out sausage and moving
Damn.
on to the next.
Well, that'll be easy to vote
Round.
out. Let's try.
Chaos.
Oh, this is
Wow,
We-
the chat
we
did
have-
not agree.
Don't do us like that.
I would 100% vote for sausage. I love
I know you already said that.
63% sausage.
We'll convince
pizza
them, so
topping
it counts.
sausage.
It is
Joey,
what it
you've
is.
got
It's
the
bracket.
first vote on our next matchup. We've got onions versus jalapenos. Which is the better pizza topping?
I like both of these a lot, and I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, but when I get a pizza, like my go-to pizza, it's pepperoni, pineapple, onions, and green peppers, and I don't put jalapenos on there. So I'm gonna go with onions just because that I'm being true to myself, and I feel like we should all be true to ourselves.
No.
Yeah, unless yourself sucks. So Josh,
God.
don't be true to
Yeah.
yourself and vote for
Why?
whichever one you think is better here. Josh, would you go with onions or jalapenos?
So I know I've talked about this before. I'm not the biggest onion guy in the world. I think they're good in things. I don't like them highlighting dishes, which they do if they're the topping on a pizza. Jalapenos are actually. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Bruh.
Jalapenos are actually one of my favorite burger toppings. They weren't even on the burger toppings list last week, and now they're on the
yes.
pizza toppings. It's like I'd have a banana pepper personally, but I'll go jalapeno here.
Josh might rather have a banana pepper, but I would not. I would rather have a jalapeno. Banana peppers can get thrown in the garbage with the other gross sweet peppers. They don't
They're not
belong
on here, so
If I want
rude.
sweet, I'll go
They're
pineapple.
not really that.
So,
Which is
so what do
already
you think
been
about
eliminated.
onions against jalapeno?
banana
And
Onions
pepper.
are
banana peppers
delicious.
have a spice. They're a spicy.
Yeah, I
like,
wouldn't call them
sweet, yeah.
sweet.
They're kind of sweet. They're not spicy.
They're not spicy for sure, but I don't know if sweet is
They're
the,
somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between. But onions are great, but jalapenos are an elite pizza topping. So I'm going to vote for jalapenos, making it
Oh,
one
okay. I thought
to
you were going
one.
onions there for some
Oh, hell
reason.
no. I love jalapenos
Okay.
on pizza.
Yeah,
Jalapeno
okay,
and
cool,
pineapple
cool,
is my
cool.
go-to. Will, are you going with onions or jalapeno?
Kyle, that's
All
fine.
right, so I had to think about this because a lot of different factors here, right? So if I'm by myself, I would prefer onions, but if I'm with someone, you have to take other things into account. Do I have some gum with me? How far are we sitting apart from each other? Things of that nature. So if I'm by myself, I'm going to go with onions.
Onions. It is 2-2 now. Tim,
Good
what
job,
about you?
Will.
Where's your vote going?
So Joey, I'm going with my brother. I'm going with my heart
Yes.
here, staying true to myself.
now you're related.
Now we are. I get a jalapeno pizza just about once a week. So it's just jalapeno.
Let's go.
3-2. JL, it's both vegetables.
Yeah, these are both vegetables. The matchup is a tough one because I like both of these things. And shout out Kyle. Shout out Baltimore.
Yeah.
I don't eat crab anymore, but still shout out Baltimore. I'm gonna go jalapeno
All right.
because,
You didn't
like
have to
Tim,
say that.
like Tim, I pretty much order jalapenos on my pizza every time I order pizza. So
There we go. Jalapenos moves on. And guys, we're moving on to our
This is a
next
close one.
round.
52% of the chat chose jalapenos.
Nice. So
Okay.
we were in
it's not a bad
agreement
choice at all.
with
Jalapenos
the
are
chat.
great.
Also, Waz in here saying, remind me never to watch a bracket show. This is just formatted. Welcome to the pain of our
Yeah.
viewers.
It's been worse.
Now
Yeah.
you know why I paid 30% attention was.
I don't feel like friendships are being ruined on this one like they have in past
No.
weeks.
Yeah, the fruits one, that one was bad.
That's because oh my god, just
We're not even allowed to talk about Mario.
How
Brothers.
far grapes win in that bracket is a crime against
it's
humanity. But we are
absolutely
on
absurd.
we are on pepperoni versus extra cheese, and I have the first vote here. And like I said, I hate pepperoni. I love cheese. Tim, I think you made a fair argument that extra cheese isn't a topping, but I don't like pepperoni and I love cheese. So just assuming they would give me extra, I'm going to vote extra cheese here. Even though it does not love me back. In fact, it wreaks havoc
true.
on my body.
Very true.
Will, are you going with extra cheese or pepperoni?
Yeah, again, I mean, when I wanted to spoil myself, I would get extra cheese as a topping. So I'm gonna stick with extra cheese on this one.
Extra cheese, double extra cheese. Michael, and you're saying, I swear you Karens better stay home. Anyone vote for extra cheese? Tim, are you going
I'm
extra
with
cheese
you,
or
Mike.
pepperoni?
Yeah, I mean, this shows that we collectively have the palate of a kindergartner. So I'll give it to pepperoni.
One vote for pepperoni. JL, extra cheese or pepperoni?
Extra cheese, baby.
Philip
Screw your
Baxley.
pepperoni.
There is no extra cheese, you fools. It doesn't exist.
How many times? I'm trying to help you guys.
Don't check the
Um,
box.
Yeah, I'm just
Tim-
answering this as just cheese because I would never order extra cheese, but just regular cheese, sure.
Joey,
That's just
extra cheese or pepperoni?
I would have voted for extra cheese, but there was a comment earlier about what even animal is pepperoni, and like I like to be adventurous, so I want the mystery meat.
Go with the
I want to
mystery
eat the
meat.
mystery animal. I do
Josh?
believe pepperoni is red meat,
Rat.
though.
Guys,
think
this
so.
is so far and away pepperoni. You guys are like the best pizza out there is just a nice thin.
Why not
thin
both?
Pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
Thin pepperoni.
Yes,
pizza,
thin.
you know,
Get
little
outta here.
cheese, little
Thin.
sauce. That's what I'm talking about. Pepperoni's winning this one.
Some vanilla
Scott,
wafer
right?
pizza.
It's winning this one, right, Scott?
Got it.
Am I
It's
the
a tie,
tiebreaker?
So you get to decide. Pepperoni.
I-
or
Long
extra
ways,
cheese?
though.
I'm going to be honest, man. I'm still regretting not picking sausage,
Yeah.
like just for chaos. Like I just feel bad about it now. I'm not going to do it again. Pepperoni, it is.
Boo.
Pepperoni
Scott,
moves
thank
on
you
to the
so
next
much.
round. Scott as the tiebreaker.
Thank
Pepperoni
you.
in the championship matchup.
Why have
Yeah,
I
I
had to
bel-
tiebreak pepperoni twice? What's going on?
That's
This
what
is
I'm
our
wondering, Scott.
this is our show, and we are idiots.
One,
That's a
two,
shirt.
3, 4. We are on the fifth. So what? Who has the first vote here?
Think
Who
JL?
just voted last?
I don't remember.
No, I think it, so. I voted last on that last one. So it
Which
would
means I voted
be-
first. Which means Will, we are
Yeah,
back to you. Mushrooms or jalapeno? Which is the better pizza topping?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms, no questions.
Mushrooms.
He just says with
Mushrooms.
confidence. it's
Mario
mushrooms.
Brothers.
Mushrooms.
It has no taste. You could just imagine what it want. You could just have it. You could just think about what you wanted it to taste like.
That's not how not having taste works.
how that works.
It's not like a,
That's how
it's
exactly.
not like a
If you
blank
don't-
canvas.
If you
When
don't
you're
like
here.
mushrooms, you don't have an active imagination. You heard me.
Facts.
I love
Facts. I mean, that's just what it is. It tastes like
Be a
nothing.
blank canvas in my
If
mouth.
you don't like
No.
stuff on your pizza, but you want stuff and don't want there to be stuff, mushrooms
Yeah.
are for you.
No, yeah.
Will,
Tim, are you
we're gonna
going
find Will
mushrooms or
eating
jalapeno?
cardboard, imagining
So-
it's like bruschetta or something.
They charge you extra at a steakhouse for it to taste like nothing. I'm like, guys, please. It tastes just like my steak that
Mushrooms
came
at a
out.
steakhouse taste like butter.
Because
they're
you
probably
imagined
cooked
it. That's what I'm saying.
in
You
butter.
imagine that it tastes like
Yeah.
butter.
You imagine it tastes like butter.
Also, shout out to
Whoa.
Marty,
Thank you
what
so
up?
much. We love Canadian money more than American money. It's just
Yes.
the best. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Marty.
I took that as California, but okay.
California money.
Oh, in California, $10. That probably worth quite a bit. Tim, are you going with mushrooms or jalapenos?
So I grew up on the interwebs. I grew up on computers. So I'm a huge fan of clip art. If I could put it anywhere in a
Where's
Word
this
document,
going?
if I can sneak it into any single presentation for the place I work for, I do it. Mushrooms are some of the most iconic clip art pieces that you can have. And on pizza, they look elite. So they're going to take out jalapenos because they look great on a computer in
You know what,
2D.
Tim? Cartoon pizza with mushrooms on it looks fantastic. You're right.
It's
I didn't even
amazing.
consider that. JL,
Too bad it
mushrooms or
tastes like
jalapenos?
Jalapeno.
No questions asked. Yeah, I saw that one coming. Joey, mushrooms or jalapenos?
I've established where I stand on mushrooms, but I just want to pick jalapeno because I like words that have the little squigglies over letters. So that's my vote.
2-2. Josh,
Guys, I like spice. I like spicy on pretty much any dish that you can present to me. I prefer it being a little bit spicy. That includes pizza. I'm gonna go with jalapeno here.
But think about how spicy those mushrooms could be if you just think about it, Josh.
Oh yeah, if you just think about it, they can
mental.
almost be jalapeno.
It's only here.
It's a mental thing.
So on Dame's note, I will add a little caveat here. The pickled jalapenos on pizza are good. They're good. They're not elite.
Pickled
Fresh
nothing is good.
jalapenos.
I like fresh.
Fresh jalapenos on pizza, truly elite.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to assume fresh here. And my vote is going to be for jalapeno, meaning, Scott, this is not a tiebreaker.
Go, Simon.
The jalapenos
Let's go.
are moving
Let's go.
on to the championship round.
Ooh.
Scott,
That's
where
what
would
I'm
you have
talking
voted
about.
there? Mushrooms or jalapeno?
Probably mushrooms. Just I don't like jalapeno. I love spicy stuff. Love it, love it, love it. I don't like the taste of jalapenos. Like habaneros are one of my favorite things in the world, but I just don't like jalapenos.
Philip has brought nothing but excellent points to this chat. Philip said mushroom. You can always add hot sauce. Can't add liquid mushroom. Wouldn't want to anyway.
Wouldn't want
what?
to
That's a
anyway.
good-
Yeah, that's
I don't
Liquid mushroom. That's
like truffle oil.
That's a
maybe?
great
Solid
fantasy
mushroom.
team name.
that feels like a torture scenario right there.
Liquid
Like,
mushroom. Liquid olive.
You get mushroom boarded where they just drop liquid mushroom on you.
do you want to do the finale or the spot first?
I imagine this sucks.
Up to you, Scott.
Let's do the spot. I'm
do the
down
spot.
for
Let's
it.
do the spot.
Why not?
All right, we had a lot of good ones. Corey Spalla, who's already got a spot, but he decided to throw in a nice tavern
anyway.
style one that sounded good. Cole Privetti had a nice hamburger style one that sounded good. Lane something that I did not write down the last name had one with like honey drizzle on it, but he lost me with the goat cheese.
I love honey drizzle.
Sorry.
Goat cheese.
Yeah, but lost
Pick
me with the
regular
goat cheese.
Yeah.
Coach Craig went with a simple sausage and bacon breakfast pizza, which I love that. There's some double cheese, double pepperoni ones. There was one with a sriracha that I love sriracha. So Alan
Ooh.
Siegel.
Did you put your
that-
snuggly on?
I did not. Kevin Rossetti had a really cool dipped buffalo sauce one, but I'm going with a pretty simple, super deep dish, lots of cheese and pepperoni and sausage, extra crispy pan. Alan Rodriguez, you're going to get the spot.
Alan.
I'm a man of simple taste.
Way to go.
Man,
Alan
simple
Rodriguez.
taste.
Man of simple taste, and I love that one. I'll have that one tonight, maybe.
So
That
you're
sounds
deep
good.
Alan
Yeah.
Rodriguez,
Yeah.
congratulations. You are officially in Scott Fish Bowl 12. Scott will be sending that invite out to you. Nice job, Alan, and
Well
you're
done.
excited.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
shoot me a DM on Twitter. I think I know which. There's a few. there are more than one Alan Rodriguez signed up for SFB. There's 31,000 people signed up for this league.
There's
so,
1,000 Alan Rodriguez's.
Alan,
signed
is
up
this
for
your-
yes. So DM me on Twitter so I know
Hopefully only
exactly
of
which
you
one you
guys
are.
is watching. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Good point.
Also, Alan, congratulations on graduating, apparently.
Yes.
Congrats, grad. Really proud of you.
Hey.
Great job.
Alan, is this
Guys-
your first fishbowl? I just put it in the chat. I want to know. I want to know.
Guys,
Lane.
yeah, I don't see any of the Alan Rodriguez's signed up as having played in Fishbowl. So yes, I'll
Awesome.
go with
There
it.
it
Probably is.
and Alan said yes, it is his first Fish Bowl. Congrats. Welcome in. It's so much fun. I'm excited. Guys, who had the first vote on the last? Josh, you voted last on the last one, if I'm not
So
mistaken.
it was Tim. I think Tim's first, if I'm not
Tim,
mistaken.
you're first on this one. Pepperoni or jalapeno? What's it going to be? The best
God.
pizza topping. This is the championship, and it is the 1 versus the 2 seed.
Oh no. I'm trying to think about where people are going to vote because I want Scott to pick this. We're gonna
Corey thinks we
go.
should put all of the Alan Rodriguez's. in the
Let
bowl and have
Tim
Alan
vote
Rodriguez,
6th, and I'll
legend.
vote 7th. Yeah, let Tim
There
go
we go.
6th and be 7th. We'll
Okay,
shape the
you know
vote.
I'm
what?
pretty fine with that.
JL, pepperoni or jalapeno?
We know where JL is going. I
Pino.
think. Yeah.
Jalapeno for JL. Joey, pepperoni or jalapeno?
I've never driven by a pizza place and seen the image in the window be a jalapeno pizza. It's always a pepperoni pizza. It's iconic. It's pepperoni.
So Joey follows the masses. Josh, pepperoni or
Goodbye,
jalapeno?
I mean, it's basic. I don't care. Pepperoni. I just prefer that on my pizza. Like,
Thank you,
so what
Josh.
got?
Fire too, Josh.
Way.
You're
It's-
very handsome
is
today,
wet.
Josh.
Thank you.
It's jalapeno, that
hey,
little
Joey,
bit of-
you are amazing.
And you guys
Josh,
are
thank
both
you.
stupid and wrong because jalapeno is the far
Joey.
elite pizza topping.
Hi.
2-2. Will, where are you going here? It is currently tied 2-2.
All right, Alan. First of all, don't ever admit that. It's not something. Just keep that to
man.
yourself. There's just some things
That's,
you
that's
don't have
amazing,
to.
Will.
You don't have to put that on the chat.
Oh my God,
You know,
Will.
you just keep that to yourself. But I'm gonna go with jalapeno.
My man.
Joey made a good point, but listen, we got to evolve, right? We got to evolve. So maybe next week I go out and I'm driving by a Pizza Hut or Domino's and I see jalapeno out there on a billboard.
Times are changing. Jalapeno's making its comeback. Tim, I have a feeling
So
I know what
good.
you're doing here,
Yeah,
regardless
but
of what your
I
opinion
at
is.
least want to give a little bit of rationale. Like we all said, we don't know what's in pepperoni. You know what could be in pepperoni? Jalapeno. So give me pepperoni. Best of both worlds.
I know what's in pepperoni deliciousness.
Okay, Scott, you gave out a spot. You've
So-
been our official tiebreaker. It is tied 3-3. Pepperoni versus jalapeno. You got the solo layout.
We already
You
know what he's gonna
alone
pick.
Have control over the winner of this bracket.
He doesn't
Is
like
it
jalapeno.
Scott, we're turning over a new leaf and we're going to try vegetables and salads. So let's make the right choices.
It's
Let's make the right
2022,
choices.
Scott.
Oh
It's
man,
2022.
man.
I saw that.
It
right
is
thing.
2022, and it's insane that after all these years, pepperoni is still the best pizza topping. In 2022, in 2015, in 2010, every year it's somehow always the best.
This is one of the best comments like all day.
Yeah.
This comment makes me so mad at myself because I had the power. I could have
coulda-
knocked
coulda
pepperoni
struck
out
it
in the
down.
first round. I could have struck it down and eliminated it from this bracket.
Amazing.
But instead, pepperoni, almost getting upset in the first round, comes out on top over jalapeno
Let's go.
as the
Let's
best
go.
pizza topping. So,
Except
guys, today we determined that Tyler Algier is our most likely 2022 rookie bust and that pepperoni is the best pizza topping, even though we're wrong. But I can't argue with the science of brackets.
it's not that.
I cannot argue with the science of
This
brackets.
is fact.
Everybody who came in and watched with us, help us determine, voted along in the chat. Even if you were here for a Scott Fishbowl spot, thank you so much for joining us. Scott, thank you for coming on and being our tiebreaker today. We really appreciate it.
I don't think you did. We're like 13 minutes over time.
No,
You're
no,
gonna look
we
back at
appreciate
this
it,
show and be
Scott.
like, maybe we should have tamped that down a little.
No,
Nah,
Scott,
fun
we
Friday, baby.
Appreciate everything. Yeah.
And Will,
thanks,
thank you
guys.
so much for coming on and helping us determine this. You were a voice of reason throughout this pizza bracket and had nothing but the best knowledge on the 2022 bust brackets. Really appreciate you coming on with us today,
Always,
my
man.
man.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Guys, if you do not already follow Will, go and follow him right now on Twitter at biasedopinions_. It is right there below his face on the screen. Top left corner.
I
front
just
and
did.
center.
Go do it.
Go do it.
Go do it.
Do
If Scott
it.
did
Do it.
you should
Do it.
too.
Do it.
Come hang out
Guys,
with us again.
That is going to be it for us this afternoon. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. We play games like this every day, Monday through
Every
Friday
day.
at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we are here doing nothing but playing games. And if you're not sick of us yet, if this is your first time watching, we have a show tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time over on the FanDuel YouTube and Twitch channels. We will be playing some fantasy football Jeopardy. So come hang out with us
Yeah.
then, play some more games. Until then, though, we are out of here, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Pepperoni sucks, but it's apparently the best pizza topping. And another congrats to Alan on winning that spot. So long,
Yeah,
everybody.
Alan.
Adios.
Trading makes fantasy fun. Let's
It does.
go.